This is the Q from Comics Being Sci-Fi. I'm here with Richie Wallens, and we're in beautiful Pasadena, California. And why are we here again, Rich?
Well, we're here, Q, because there's a great show called The Big Bang Theory, and it takes place here in Pasadena, California.
Oh, so this whole show is about The Big Bang Theory.
You're quick. You caught on.
Well, buckle up, strap in, and enjoy the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi. I'm Nick.
I'm Jill. Let's thank our sponsors at Lawrence Technological University. Possible is everything.
And as you might have gathered from our intro, we are going to celebrate the show that made geek chic this week, Big Bang Theory.
Let's get started with Q, who's going to take a look at the Big Bang spinoff, Young Sheldon.
This is the Q from Comics Being Sci-Fi, and it is Big Bang Week. So I'm here to talk to you about what else? The Big Bang Theory. It's on CBS. It is TV's #1 rated sitcom for a reason.
Okay, oh my God, I can't believe you guys are engaged.
We're not engaged yet. She's taking forever to answer.
Because you're on the phone.
We'll call you back. She said yes.
Congratulations!
It actually spawned off another show, Young Sheldon, which is also on CBS. But the difference between Young Sheldon and Big Bang Theory is Big Bang is fun of a live audience, and Young Sheldon is more him narrating his life.
Don't you throw something at the dinner table, George?
Jane Goodall had to go to Africa to study apes. I just had to go to dinner.
You understand that some people are going to be intimidated by you because of how smart you are?
Or maybe they'll recognize my intellect and make me their leader.
Lord, look after my son. Don't let him get stuffed in a gym bag.
If you're a fan of everything nerdy and geeky, which you gotta be because you watch us, check these two shows out.
Thanks, Q. Hey, did you know Jim Parsons and Kaylee Kuko actually have their own star in Hollywood Walk of Fame?
Well, so does producer Chuck Lorre.
Well, my friend Brittany and I were just there, and we got to interview some cosplayers.
Cool.
Hey geeks, it's Jill here with Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi, joined by my sister from another Mr. Brittany G.
And we're here on Hollywood Boulevard, ready to do this?
Let's go. So you're out here in the streets in the daytime fighting crime or causing crime?
Mostly causing crime. How long have you been doing this?
All the time. I'm Wonder Woman.
It looks like you have a lot of detail. What did you make it out of?
I made this all out of recycled styrofoam, masking tape, and zip ties.
Wow, how long did it take you to make it?
It took me about 100 hours.
Can you show us how to transform?
I would like to, but there's no cars allowed on the sidewalk.
So I found the one person in the universe that's more hairy than Richie. How you doing, Chewbacca? So, are you hot? How do you stay cool, man? I gotta know one thing. What kind of conditioner do you use?
So, what's up? It looks like you've been drinking a lot of beer here.
Oh, I don't drink beer. I'm the adult Spider-Man now. I grew up. Remember?
The adult.
I started when I was a young guy.
So, how old are you now, Peter, to the Parker?
Old enough to know how to keep on flying, baby.
Oh, okay. Well, fly high, Spider-Man. Fly high.
And I found an Oscar award-winning cosplayer. How do you feel up there? Wow, well, the real question is, who are you trying to go home with tonight? Wow, this guy doesn't break character. He's good. I think he's going to take home an award.
When you're out here in Hollywood Boulevard, make sure you stay hydrated by drinking ice cold water. Ice cold water for $1. Ice cold water for $1.
Well, that looked like fun.
It was.
You know, before the geeks of the Big Bang Theory was the proto-geek himself from the 1980s, Anthony Michael Hall. And Joe had a chance to talk to him.
Joe Johnson here with the Anthony Michael Hall. Great to see you again. Welcome back to Detroit.
You too, buddy. Good to see you.
You have the most amazing IMDb page any actor would be jealous of. How did it happen at the beginning?
Well, I was so fortunate and blessed, Joe. I got to work with John from the age of 15 onward. And at 16 Candles was the first film, but before that, he had actually written Vacation. So it was just in the stars, you know. It was just a gift, honest to God, that I could work with him. And he wrote those first 4 films and directed, you know, obviously the 3 that we did together. So just a privilege to work for. Such a great guy, and he's missed, and I loved him. He gave me my whole career, the work that we did together, you know. And after that, it really became a career. I got, I think, a little too serious over the years, you know. And I realized how fortunate I was to work with John. I mean, it was such a gift.
When you reached adulthood, you were barely recognizable. You had beefed up and you were looking fantastic. What do you attribute to that? Was it just genetics, or?
Honestly, it was just growing up. I can't say I'm such a gym rat that it was that cool. I planned it. I just kind of grew into a bigger body, and I was a scrawny kid. You know, it's so funny because I'm 16 candles. I look like I'm about 12 years old.
Now, we're at Comic-Con, so I have to ask you about your participation, your role in The Dark Knight. Many people consider that maybe the greatest comic book movie ever made. I think it's one of the greatest movies ever made, period. Describe your experience and what being a part of that movie means to you.
Well, you know what, Joe? I was finishing The Dead Zone in Vancouver, and I felt like the luckiest guy in the world. I mean, to have a TV show that was really cool and innovative. So when I got that part, you know, it was amazing to me. Just to be a part of a Chris Nolan film, great filmmaker, and a great experience that was. Yeah, terrific.
Thanks, Joe. That was great. Time for a commercial break.
But first, don't forget to follow us on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
We'll be right back.
Out of all the burger and beer joints, you walk into this one. Good call, because now you're face to face with the best burger you'll ever have. Handcrafted, locally sourced, and grilled to perfection. Bagger Dave's. Locals wanted.
Hey fellas, these Howie's specials with Cajun crust must be yours. So, where's the game?
There's no game.
Hungry Howie's, how may I help you? Yeah, I can't.
These guys again? Well, at least they don't have an air horn.
Flavor fanatics love us because we make our dough fresh daily and have meal deals for any budget.
Hungry? Howie's!
Flavor fanatics welcome.
I want a career in robotics and automation, so I chose Lawrence Tech for its first in Michigan robotics engineering program. LTU's brand new STEM complex has a robotics lab where we can design, build, and program robots in a creative atmosphere. And the best thing is, I haven't graduated yet, but I already have a job in my field. I know I made the right choice for my career. Lawrence Tech, possible is everything.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We're going to continue our look at all things Big Bang Theory. Here's Nick's interview with the director of the show, Mark Sandrowski.
Well, what was your reaction to the idea of a show about a bunch of geek physicists? Anything like this had ever been even thought of before.
But you can say it's about that, and it's just as Seinfeld was about nothing, or Cheers is about being in a bar.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, you had Jim Parsons and Johnny Galecki who had this wonderful chemistry, and people wanted to watch them.
Yes.
And then people related to these characters. It didn't matter necessarily that they were geeks. That's part of it, and that was fun. That gave us ample time for stories and everything else. But they could relate to them. And in that first year, I heard so many times, you know, I know someone just like Sheldon. I know someone just like Raj. You know, Wallowitz, oh, my cousin is just like him. It was never me. I'm just like, it was always, I know someone just like it. My brother is just like that. And you can look at them and, you know, they're wearing a Flash t-shirt, and, you know, geeky signs. Like, no, it's not you at all. No.
I know you guys have a physicist on hand who writes all the equations on the web.
Yes.
Do you guys have a geek expert who decides what board games they're going to play, whether or not they're going to argue about Star Trek 1 and Star Trek 5?
Yeah, well, if you met our writer's room, there's pretty much a lot of geeks in there.
Okay.
Watch some of the interviews at Comic-Con. We were very concerned about being very true to all these things, and because we would get letters from the geeks saying that is not that's not the right dice that you use in this game.
Right.
So everything was always researched really deeply.
Yes.
So when we would play a game, it was like I actually would make the actors play the game, and then I would watch them, and that was one of the fun things we would do. We'd bring the game down, play it at lunch, get into it, and I'd sit and watch how it was done, and that's what we made sure we replayed when we were actually shooting the show.
All right, well, thanks again, Mark.
Okay, my pleasure. This was great.
Good job, Nick. We want to give a big thanks to Mark Sandrowski for talking to us. And now we're going to go to Mark Myers, who unleashed his inner nerd for this week's movie segment.
As you can see in this formula, the equation factors in... Oh, I forgot it's the movie segment. Here's the subjects that factor in and what's coming out your local film auditoriums this week. First on the curriculum this week is Daddy's Home 2, which is the continuation of the excellent formula of the pairing of Wahlberg and Farrell together in another slapstick comedy. This time around, the two are joined by Mel Gibson and John Lithgow as their fathers.
So this code dads thing.
You gotta ask another man's permission to see your own kids.
Everything is rock solid between me and Brad here. In fact, best friends. Really? Brad, thank you. Stop it. I'm good. Because we're boys.
Next we have Murder on the Orient Express, based on the Agatha Christie novel, which centers around a mysterious murder on a lavish train ride. Kenneth Branagh leads an all-star cast. This looks to be more difficult to solve than the most difficult equation.
Murder here. God rest his soul. Someone was rummaging around my cabin in the middle of the night. No one would listen to me.
If there was a murder,
What is going on?
then there was a murderer. The murderer is with us.
Using Einstein's theory of relativity, I will travel into the future, then return to reveal what's coming out in theaters next year.
There's nowhere left to go. Nowhere. Except the oasis. It's the only place that feels like I mean anything. A world where the limits of reality are your own imagination.
This ends this session at the movies. I must now go to my Dungeons & Dragons addiction counseling.
Well, as all Big Bang Theory fans know, Wednesday is New Comic Book Day. So we went to one of LA's best comic book stores, Golden Apple, and Brad got to talk to the owner.
Ryan, how long have you been here? Actually, the comic book shop was opened in 1979 by my father, Bill Leibowitz. We're coming up on 40 years.
So is that the coolest thing a dad could be as a comic book store owner, or are you sick of it yet?
You know what's weird is like when I was a kid, I didn't really get it. I don't think maybe you either hid it from me or I just didn't really understand it. Because back then, it wasn't cool.
Celebrities come in here to do research for movie roles.
For a long time, we had to keep this whole thing under wraps. It was very secretive. Until, if you remember Wizard magazine, they actually ran an article and they called us Comic Shop to the Stars. And we sort of finally came out and said, all right, this is what's going on. I mean, I'll tell you, one of the nicest guys in the whole world is Gabriel Luna. He plays Ghost Rider on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He came in here to research it. I handed him the book like I would anybody who said, hey, you got anything on Ghost Rider? I'm looking for Robbie Reyes stuff. I said, yeah, here's the book. I mean, I was just doing my job, just being friendly. He's come back so many times to just thank us, to do signings for us, to autograph stuff.
That's awesome.
He posts on social media about us. I mean, he's like the nicest guy in the whole world. But that would be one relevant success story.
Well, this is the Bradcast, reporting from Golden Apple on Melrose in Los Angeles. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Brad. Love that place. Now it's time for our next commercial break, but make sure you stick around for more comics, beer, and sci-fi.
I want to be a dermatologist, and though a lot of universities tried to recruit me for basketball, Lawrence Tech had the science curriculum that I wanted. LTU's Southfield campus is a great place to learn, and the classes are small enough that I don't have to wait for office hours to talk to my professors. They're usually right by my side, challenging me and guiding me toward a successful future. Lawrence Tech, possible is everything.
I'm here today at Northwestern Tech, the HVAC school in Southfield, to see how they're training their students for the growing demand in the heating and cooling industry.
With our years of experience and literally thousands of successful graduates, Northwestern Tech has been debunking this myth that you need a 4-year degree to have a great career. Our HVAC program was designed to give our students the hands-on skills to be working in the field in only 10.5 months.
This is Heather Park reporting from Southfield that Northwestern Tech really is the HVAC school that works.
We don't frost brew our beer, and hot chicks won't appear if you drink it. Our beer doesn't come in a bow tie shaped can or need color indicators to tell you it's cold. It won't be delivered by Clydesdale horses, and to tell you the truth, we aren't the most interesting people in the world. Fact of the matter is, we don't tell stories. We just let our beer do the talking.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's take it over to Shannon, who has some Big Bang Theory-inspired beer to recommend.
Hey, it's Shannon. I've got a few beers that pair perfectly when you're watching Big Bang Theory or Young Sheldon. Let's start at the beginning of Big Bang Theory, that is. You can't help but enjoy the opening theme song, which prominently features a 20-second story of the evolution of the human race. For this, I have Evolution from Wasatch, which pours a bright amber copper color. This toasty caramel flavored ale is a great tribute to one thing, that beer alone is responsible for the evolutionary leap from ape to man. It wasn't fire or the wheel, beer was the trick. You can't have Big Bang Theory without Penny. So I have a few Penny beers from Old Burnside Brewing Company in East Hartford, Connecticut, where they brew traditional ales with a Scottish twist. In her honor, let's take a look at 10 Penny, which is a 5.6% Scottish ale. It's malty with a hint of caramel and a background of smokiness with just enough hops to balance. Sometimes Penny can be a bit dirty, and I guarantee you've had a few dirty thoughts about her too. So I have Dirty Penny, which is a very unique black and tan. It is a combination of Old Burnside's 10 Penny and a California-style stout. It has roast with hints of chocolate and coffee. Don't let the dark color intimidate you. This beer is an easy drinking taste with the lightness of 10 Penny, cutting down on the overwhelming roasted notes. Bazinga, you know Sheldon's favorite catchphrase. Well, this might be his favorite beer. Bazinga is brewed by Damascus Brewery in Damascus, Virginia. According to Adam Woodson, the owner of Damascus Brewery, the first time he tasted this beer, he needed a word to describe it that would smack you in the ears the same way this beer jolts your senses. And Bazinga came to mind. Imagine if an Irish Stout and an IPA had a glorious baby together. They would name it Bazinga. Now enjoy these beers with Sheldon and the rest of the gang.
Thanks, Shannon. And since we don't want to drink all that beer on an empty stomach, we went to Pink's, where Jill challenged Richie to a hot dog eating contest.
This is the Q from Comics Being Sci-Fi. We're here in Los Angeles at Pink's Hot Dogs. We all know that I am the undisputed world champ of food eating, thanks to the Norm Burger. But today, Richie and Jill are going to have a competition to see who's going to take my crown. I'm here with the new undisputed champion, Richie Rollins. You know, our co-host Jill, we know she loves wieners, dogs, wiener dogs. She was very adamant that she was going to defeat you. Just tell me, how did you prepare to win this fight?
Well, I tell you, Q. First of all, I went to the store and I bought the biggest vegan dogs I could find. Sometimes it was like the kielbasa kind, you know, and worked on stretches, and I worked out and went to the gym.
Tell us, how did the hot dog taste?
I don't remember. I ate it so fast.
Well, there you go. The winner champion, Richie Rollins.
Okay, let's go over to Comic City, where Casey took a look at this week's new comic book releases.
Hey, Comic Book Casey coming at you from Comics Being Sci-Fi. We are once again at Comic City in West Bloomfield. I'm here with my boy Aaron. We are here to talk about the latest and greatest of the comic book releases of this week. What do we got?
First off, we got Action Comics 991. It's the 5th part of the Oz Effect, as we found out that Mr. Oz is Jor-El from Krypton.
And I noticed something interesting about that cover. It looked real familiar to me. It kind of reminds me of an old classic Neil Adams cover from 1971, Superman number 233, where he's breaking the kryptonite chains.
This one's going to be in lenticular as well, like a 3D image.
But also Dan Jurgens did the writing.
Yep, also the creator of Doomsday.
There you go.
The Death of Superman run.
Well, so we wonder if Dan Jurgens has it in for Superman. Seems like every time he does anything with Superman related, Superman gets killed or beaten up really badly. Okay, and we got another DC fan favorite. Who do we have?
From the Metal series, we got the tie-in of Batman Lost #1.
What's that all about?
Batman Lost #1's about Batman's been missing. He's been stuck in the dark multiverse. He's been facing his nightmares.
Well, you think old Bats would be kind of at home in a dark place like that, but facing his worst fears and things of that nature, I gotta assume it's gonna revert to his troubled childhood. I think that's his biggest fear, is just reliving his parents getting killed again and again and again and again and again and again.
Yep.
You could have stopped me, you know, I was running out of breath.
All right.
Okay, so now I think we got some Daredevil action to talk about.
Yeah, the next one's Daredevil 595. It's about Daredevil, and he's fighting the Kingpin, who's now the mayor of New York.
So that means that Daredevil's probably going to be the outlaw in this one. Okay, and now we're going to talk about a character that I really have very little knowledge of. I don't really follow the series. It is
Moon Knight #188. Follows Mark Spector, the Moon Knight. He's kind of was set up to be a Batman of Marvel Comics. He gets his powers from the Egyptian god Khonshu.
Bless you.
No, the Egyptian god Khonshu.
Bless you. Interestingly enough, now I did find out that this was written by Max Bemis, lead singer of the group Say Anything. Aronson, who is next?
Next we have Master Kung Fu 126. It's about Shang-Chi, the Master of Kung Fu, and it's about his day off.
Who is his father?
Fu Manchu.
Why did he name him Shang-Chi?
Rising and advancing spirit.
Exactly.
Thank you, Casey and Aaron. Time for our last commercial break. Don't forget to subscribe to us on our YouTube and SoundCloud channels. We'll be right back.
Join the pop side with new Pop Chips Star Wars Galaxy Puffs, the perfect intergalactic treat for the Star Wars lover in all of us. These aged white cheddar Pop Puffs come in a variety of shapes. They're gluten-free, non-GMO, and made with real cheese. Take your snacking into hyperspace. Find all of Pop Chips' great flavors in your local Kroger.
I want to blend my business education and athletic skills and open my own fitness center. At Lawrence Tech, I'm learning how to research, present, and to really think like an entrepreneur. And I love the small college feel here, where there's always something to do. We have men's and women's intercollegiate sports and dozens of student organizations. I can't wait to apply what I'm learning here in the real world. Lawrence Tech, possible is everything.
When every seat in the house looks like this, there are no bad seats. Pull up a chair and get face-to-face with the best burger you'll ever have. Bagger Dave's. Locals wanted.
I'm here today at Northwestern Tech, the HVAC school in Southfield, to see how they're training their students for the growing demand in the heating and cooling industry.
As an industry, we're in serious need of new technicians entering the field. But to work for me, you need to be trained right. That's why at Flame, we insist you go to Northwestern Tech. It's simple. If you want a career in heating and cooling, Northwestern Tech is a place for you. I highly recommend it.
This is Heather Park reporting from Southfield that Northwestern Tech really is the HVAC school that works.
Welcome back, everybody, and as we all know, the boys on The Big Bang Theory love their video games.
They do, and we do too. So let's go to our video game segment.
What's up, fellow gamers? This is Samantha with Comic Experience Sci-Fi, and I'm at UMaCon in downtown Detroit. This segment is sponsored by Lawrence Tech. This week, I'll be getting into the nitty-gritty of some of your favorite games that are making a comeback. Nearly every Halo game, Assassin's Creed game, Gears of War, Fallout, BioShock, Dead Rising, and many more are now backward compatible with Xbox One. You can play most of the 360 games and classic original Xbox titles now on the new console. Experience game franchises across generations and enjoy the titles you own and love at no additional cost. For Xbox 360 games, keep your game saves, add-ons, achievements, and gamer score. Not only are you able to play these games again on the new system, but they will actually have a better resolution, making it an awesome gaming experience. I'm sorry, Microsoft players, I'm more of a Sony gal myself. You can add me on PSN, Crystal Skulls. Another great game that Bungie created was Destiny and Destiny 2, which is what I'm currently playing. Destiny 2 was released this September with quite a few different perks compared to the first one. I've always admired the game layout and functionality. It's a very clean game that is designed for MMORPG players out there. This game appeals to everyone's gaming style because it has PvP mode, raids, a social area, missions, strikes, and plenty of opportunities to play with your fire team members or by yourself if you'd like. This game is very customizable and rewarding. Even if the Cryptarg doesn't give you the best item for your engram, you can still get rewards throughout the game, especially from doing Nightfall and raids. This game has great graphics, a good storyline, and the characters have some fancy dance moves. That's it for this week. This has been Samantha with Comics Here in Sci-Fi. Happy gaming.
You know, isn't it amazing that the #1 comedy on TV is about physicists?
Yep, and now we're gonna dumber things down. Here's Joe with Hollywood Car Minute.
Welcome to Hollywood Car Minute. I'm Joe Johnson. I am joined by Mel Guthrie. Now here's something you don't see every day. The Shaggin' Wagon from the movie Dumb and Dumber. This is awesome. You do not see these on the road. Give me the story behind this particular van.
Just trying to think of fun cars and ones that would be recognizable to younger people that weren't watching the 60s reruns. And this one came up. Total investment, $3,000. $1,000 in carpet, $2,000 for the van.
Oh, wow. So you actually had to apply the carpeting yourself and all the different accessories. Thanks, Mel, for showing us this iconic movie vehicle, and thank you for watching Hollywood Car Minute. I'm Joe Johnson. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Joe.
Hey, have you ever heard the most annoying sound in the world?
Of course.
How about the second most annoying sound in the world?
No, what's that?
Here's Richie with the home video segment.
Hey guys, I'm sorry I'm late. I missed my flight back from Pasadena. I'm just gonna have to phone this one in. Screw you, get out of my lane, jerk. The big new release of the week is Charlize Theron's thriller, Atomic Blonde. It's based on the 2012 graphic novel, The Coldest City.
David Parsons, your contact.
Welcome to Berlin. I'm David. Don't shoot, I've got your shoe.
In the stylish spy flick, Charlize teams up with X-Men's James McAvoy in Berlin before the collapse of the wall in 1989. They must find a list of double agents who are being smuggled into the West. Atomic Blonde is loaded with great action, a terrific supporting cast, and an amazing soundtrack. Another comic book adaptation making its way to home video this week is the second season of Preacher. This batch of 13 episodes follows Dominic Cooper in the title role as he takes off on a road trip to find God.
You two hold hands.
He's joined by his girlfriend and an Irish vampire.
That thing ain't even fun.
That's kind of fun.
Preacher has already been renewed for season 3, so now is a good time to catch up on the show if you missed it. Next up is season 10 of Doctor Who, which is the final run for Peter Capaldi as the 12th Doctor. He's joined by a brand new companion, Bill Potts, played by Pearl Mackie. This year also brought the return of Matt Lucas. Doctor Who is always packed with thrills, laughs, special effects, and this season is no different. Get out your sonic screwdrivers and hop into the TARDIS to get your copy of season 10 today. I finally made it. I'll see you next week.
Rock, paper, scissors, loser, stop!
Well, that wraps up another episode of Comics Beer and Sci-Fi. We want to thank our sponsor, Lawrence Tech. Possible is everything.
And come back next week. We're celebrating the opening of Justice League by focusing on all things DC.
Rock, paper, scissors, loser, stop!